Madam Anne Sebunya looked for me via WhatsApp, and he said, Dr. Mr. Kasirye, you must come and attend. Because she represents mothers and dads who have come to our office and have said, help me, my student has this problem. Help me, I don't understand my child. There was a time one school suspended 40 students because they were caught using drugs. I've seen big people coming in the evening, calling me and saying, allow me to move a little bit so that I'm able to see some of your faces. That's why they have given me a mobile microphone. A school suspended 40 students, and all of them were brought to us. And we said, where do we begin? By the time you get one student using drugs, it's a representation of many others, probably who are trying, who are testing. And students, you want to experiment, by the way. You want to do a lot of experimentation. Anything which comes to you, you want to experiment. And that is adolescent age. That is adolescent age. You see a big person. They have a lot of money. He comes to you and says, can you help me deal with this student? And what is the concern? I think when Dr. Basangwa talks to you, by the way, I've had chances to move with him as early as 1996. I moved with him to South Africa. I've also had chances to move with him to Thailand. I've had chances to move with him to USA to see how do we help young people prevent drug abuse. The concern and the interest is not so big, by the way. It's not so big. The interest for you to keep away from drugs is not so big. It is because you are touching the brain. You are touching substances, you are touching drugs which affect the brain. And the brain is where executive functions take place. That is where critical thinking, that's where judgment, decision making, your memory is stored in the brain. The moment you enter drugs there, you begin to disorganize. That's why they are appealing to you, that's why they are needing to you. That you can touch other things, touch everything else, but don't touch drugs. Because they are going to interfere with your brain. They are going to affect your brain. I wish they can put on my presentation and they share the judgment. But what we are going to do, we are going to send the material to the teachers, then they can discuss and expound further. Don't touch anything to the brain. The brain. Now, I was invited to talk to student leaders. And let me give you 5 tips on the things you are going to do. 1, the school climate. You are part of the school climate which motivates other students. The first thing is the school climate. How do you create a school climate where students are highly motivated? Students are willing to learn. You find students are busy. They are preparing to learn, but they are not learning to do drugs and alcohol. Can you be a big contributor to that school climate which motivates other students, which encourages, which keeps young people highly motivated to learn, to prepare, to excel, to be the best? In other words, they are preparing you as influencers. You are going to go back and influence positively away from drugs. Are we together? You are being prepared as influencers. First of all, you have got the knowledge that drugs can interfere with the brain, and when it interferes, you continuously use them, they affect you, you get health and social problems. That one has been discussed by the doctor. Now, we are preparing you as positive influencers. Not only can you pass over that message, that information to other young people. You are going to hear young people praising, glamorizing, sensationalizing drugs. That is an opportunity for you to come in and tell them, but look here, I know you are discussing this and this, but are you aware about this and this? That's why they are giving you the information today about drugs. The second thing we want you to do, you as influencers, is that now you are being prepared as knowledgeable people. Can you also be part of that system which informs the teacher about what is happening, but also which relates with others. Because what we have noticed in the school climate, it's not only the students who are affected, but sometimes the school climate is also about the neighborhood. The neighborhood. Inside and outside the school. I'm talking about non-teaching staff. Some of them may be couriers. Some of them may be people who are selling drugs to our students. In other words, after here, can we do a session with the non-teaching staff? Why the students must be kept drug-free? In other words, when we talk about school climate, we are talking about people who come to visit, the outsiders, those who sell alcohol, those who sell drugs, those who smuggle drugs in our schools. Maybe at the playground, maybe during VD. Those are very important events to take note of. And you as an influencer, who goes back to teach young people about drug problems. This is very what? This is very important. Now, the other thing which we want you also to be part is to give the knowledge. To give the knowledge. Do not argue. Do not argue. By the way we are teaching here, we are not here to scare you. It's a choice. It's a healthy choice to keep away from drugs. Tell young people to resist it. Resisting. Drug resistance. To restrain. To resist it. How do you resist from drugs? I know in schools there are alternative activities they are doing. You must do them away from drugs. You can do sports. Alternative activity, you must do sports. Engage in music and dance and drama, which is very paying these days, by the way. Sports is very paying. Other alternative activities away from drugs. Do not concentrate on drugs. Do not do drugs. That is very important. Can you resist? Can you develop skills of resistance? And I think in the future, teachers are going to invite us and work with you on how to resist drugs. You can do role plays, skits, which help you to develop skills of saying no to drugs. I'm a person who tried to smoke, and my first smoking was terrible. It was killing me, and that's the day I said no to tobacco. And I want to congratulate teachers and the Minister of Education, the curricula, and take this message to the minister. We are very proud of you young people, students, because you are not smoking tobacco. People are coming to Uganda to study. How did we manage to help students not to smoke tobacco? Students are not smoking cigar. And for us, we are very proud. And that's where we want to build. As for Dr. Hasfa, Minister of Health, that's where we want to build the second ladder of stopping drugs. Children in Uganda do not smoke. So no adult who even hide. When Bazungu come here, they hide, by the way. When they want to smoke, they hide. They say, how did you do it? And help young people not to smoke tobacco. And that's the message. Anna and others are helping you to understand. Don't touch the brain. By the way, touch everywhere else, but don't touch the brain. That's why we even appeal to you when you are jumping on a border. Can you put on a helmet? Because every function is where? Is in the brain. The moment the brain gets affected, gets damaged, your performance is going to dwindle. That's why teachers begin to ask, why is so performance is going down? What is it that is causing this problem? They are looking at the brain. Why is your brain not performing as expected? Allow me to come back here briefly as I wind up. By the way, when I went for my Fulbright, the first lecture they gave me when I went to the US was keep time. Keep time. That's why I keep time. That's why I keep time. So I'm going to give you the third items so that we are able to finish. But we are proud of you. Can you say no to alcohol? Can you say no to alcohol? Can you say no to drugs? Because drugs will lead you to other mischiefs, which will lead you to be expelled. I'm very happy because I'm a parent, by the way. I'm a parent. I have students in high-end schools and also lower-end schools. I'm also a parent who continue to go and talk about drug and substance abuse. One day I had students, I went for a VT, and the student said, I don't want to kill my future. Here you have to obey. Here you have to comply. When the school say no drugs, don't use drugs, the students are highly motivated. They're aspiring. They are looking how to make their future successful. They want to concentrate on books. They want to concentrate on that things which the schools feel is very important. And this is where we need to start. Where do you want to go? Because drugs will disorganize you. By the drugs will not disorganize you alone. But if the parent paying school fees 1.5, 2 million, and the next thing to hear on my call, the teacher is calling me, the head teacher is calling me, come, we have a problem with your child, that will devastate me. I'll not be able to function. Even my colleagues at office work will get disorganized. That's why we are appealing to you that don't touch. Tell your friends, tell your colleagues not to touch, to keep away. Okay, the last two items I want to give you, and I will be able to finish. And I appeal to you teachers. Let's involve the non-teaching staff as well. Bring them on board. Sometimes the cooks, the people who slash our compounds, sometimes they have mischief ideas. Sometimes they smuggle alcohol. Sometimes they smuggle drugs. Sometimes they talk loosely. They talk messages which sensationalize and highly motivates what? This one is also very important to bring them on board. Even the neighboring community, the bars, the shops, the young people outside the school, where the young people walk. These are very important things to do what? To talk about. So teach young people to restrain. Teach young people also to deal with boredom at school. Boredom. How do we deal with boredom at school? Because where there's boredom, where there's no activity, young people are likely to be motivated for these mischiefs. Can we do activities which will occupy our what? Which will occupy our young people. Also, we want you to do to deal with issues of friendly counseling and motivation. How you counsel them, how you encourage them. Because what we have seen is that students who use drugs tend to hide because they are discriminated, but also there is an element of stigma. Because you'll be caught smoking. That's why they hide. You find them in the bathroom. You find them behind the toilets. They hide because they know they are breaking the law. But we need to create an environment at school which will bring these students and be helped. I know there is a lot of support now. You can invite counselors. You can employ counselors. You can train teachers to give support so that those who are abusing can be motivated to seek help. Because what we know and what experience has taught us, that when young people receive help a little bit early, they are likely to change. Young people are malleable, young people are easy to mold, young people are easy to help. That's why we need to encourage as many as those who are using, not to be disciplined, but to come to seek help, and you can do the necessary follow. And by the children give up drugs. And many of them will give up drugs. And only a few who are big-headed will continue. But many will give up because once they get these messages, they'll be able to stop using what? They'll be able to stop using drugs. So teach children, leaders, student leaders, teach your friends to restrain. Teach them to keep away from groups which are using drugs. Teach them to be able to handle peer pressure, as has been shared, but also teach them to do alternative activities away from drugs. There are a lot of things you can do away from drugs. Away from drugs. And there are many young people who can do so many things. Highly motivated to go in the evening to do sports, to do dancing and drama, to do music, to do many things that now you are busy at what? At school. That is my little message. But the message is, keep away from drugs. Yourself, because you must be a good example. Teach your friends to restrain, to say no. Teach your friends to keep away, to do alternative activities. And lastly, help your friends see that once something interferes with the brain, they are going to fail. They are going to be affected. Can we reverse the conditions, the negative effect of drugs on your brain? I tell you, no. You can get the treatment, but the impact, the negative impact which will be caused by drugs cannot be reversed. That's why we talk to children to keep away from what? To keep away from drugs. Not even children alone, but even adults. We are looking at you to be the generation where they will come in Uganda to study how students don't abuse drugs. They are coming to study why you don't smoke tobacco, you don't smoke cigarettes. We want them to come and see that our children are not drinking excessively, our children are not using drugs. Your Master of Ceremony, I hope I've been able to talk to the young people, and I wish you success. I wish you success. I look forward to calling me and we talk both at school-based level. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kasirye Rogers.